Okay, everyone stop dangling your balls over helpless rats. It's time for XPQuest. This is the first episode where I got our podcast name right.
Yay!
Woo! And as you can hear, I have my new co-host and fellow Valor conspirator, Raetac.
Yep. If you're not red, you're dead.
That's awesome. So we're shooting from the hip. We're doing a live show here, recorded live, July the 14th, 2016.
Who needs show notes?
Exactly. We don't need show notes. It was like, you want to do a show? Duh. We going to do a show.
It was all hell yeah.
Yeah, hell yeah. So this week's topic is Pokemon Go, and man, are we going to go about this. My feet, I have blisters on my
Well, I would if the servers would actually stay up for longer than 10 minutes.
So over here in the Midwest, the server response is actually really good, but when I'm in a really crowded area, and I don't know if you saw my Twitter pic that I posted where I was in like a festival of all, it was like a big orgy of Pokemon. It was unbelievable.
Uh-huh.
There, about every 7 or 8 Pokemon, the game just freezes up, and I gotta I'm playing on iOS, and I do have a brand new iPhone 6S, the big one, and it runs fantastic. But when my kids try to play at home on their iPad 2s, it crushes those poor those really old systems. So it's definitely I think this game's really meant to be played on the new devices.
Well, that's true. Just recently I bought an Oppo F1, I believe it is, and it actually does run really, really well on that when the servers are up.
Okay. So I guess let's start at the beginning of this game. This game actually was morphed from the original game called Ingress. Did you ever play that game?
No, I had a friend that actually did try and get me into that, but I had no interest in it whatsoever.
So I saw a lot of the people like over in the Players Alliance that were playing it sort of secretly. Like nobody ever talked about the game, but then every now and then somebody would say something about it, and I'd be like, what the hell is that? So I would go and I would listen, and I finally figured out how to get into the game. And then, of course, I joined a team randomly, not knowing anything about the game. And then, of course, once I sort of figured out how to play the game, every freaking place near my house was being dominated by the other team. So to really enjoy the game, I would have had to drive like ridiculously far away from my house. And it's just like, I tried taking over some points, and I got the whole point of the game, and it seemed kind of interesting, but it never really caught on. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
It was fun, but it was gimmicky. And the fact that I couldn't enjoy it, there was no day-to-day grind. It was just, crushing defeat by the enemy team, basically.
It didn't have the right gimmick.
Exactly. So, I'm like, whatever. So I just stopped playing it. And then, of course, I still get their freaking emails all the time. They're very chatty email service.
Oh. And
along comes Pokemon Go, which is almost the same exact game, but it's just reskinned with cute monsters. and it really like teases to people like me who are just like collection whores. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. I'd be one of those. My story of the introduction is I have played Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Blue back in the day of Game Boy Color, and had Pokemon Stadium on my Nintendo 64, which I did enjoy quite a fair bit. So when a coworker of mine said, "Have you heard about this Pokemon Go? It's out right now." It's like, really?
What? I bet nobody even imagined that they'd just be like trudging along through the wilderness, the wastelands. In your neck of the woods, a la, Mad Max, like
Oh.
he lost his car and you're just like, ugh.
No, we do have civilization. We do have cities.
Okay.
Despite what everybody else thinks.
You're ruining the mystery, man. All I see is just, dingoes and some other things. I don't even know what else.
We'll chuck you out inland. Well, basically, the fact is that Australia's populace, majority of it is on the coastline. Everywhere
How do you
else,
live in Australia? It's nothing but like crocodiles and snakes and stuff, isn't it?
that and koalas and kangaroos and all the nice cuddly stuff that will still kick your teeth in.
Okay, back to the Pokemon. So as I promised, I have a bunch of Pokemon innuendo pickup lines. So we're gonna start off the night with, "Hey girl, let me see them Jigglypuffs."
Oh my god.
We're going to see how far we can push our PG rating, because somehow, even after 8 episodes, we still have a clean rating on iTunes. I have no idea how that happened. So, continuing. SEO edit, SEO EDT, sorry if I screwed up your name. In chat, he says he never played Ingress, but he has found it useful to scout out defense Pokego locations through the Ingress map. Ah, that's right. So Ingress did have a web-based map of the locations. So you could actually see every point in Ingress on a web page before you even leave your house. Does that make sense?
That would help quite a bit.
So here's the crossover, the beauty of what Ingress did, okay? And I've finally found a story today where somebody did an article basically saying Pokemon can thank Ingress for its popularity, because Ingress was a blank map. It was just like it was Google Map with everything blanked out, just like the Pokemon map. And players would actually target points of interest. Now here's the hilarious part. Everything that somebody has tagged as a point of interest, a fountain, a building, a sculpture, a stupid piece of graffiti on the wall, is what they were saying in the UK. People are tagging graffiti. Every single one of those points somehow in the back end gets translated over to being either a Poke Gym or a Poke Stop.
Aside
so
from
that's how
every church in the country.
Exactly. And not to brag, but just on my drive to work, I've passed 17 churches. That's a lot of opportunity. I'm not going to stop at all 17, but I could if I wanted to. So I'd like to ride you like a horsey. That was one of the pickup. I'm just going through this list as we go through the show.
Lame.
Some of these are really actually pretty bad. I can't actually say these on the air. Have you seen my master balls? I heard you can't escape them. Okay.
Oh my god.
That's a good one. So,
well, there has been reports from people on Reddit there who have actually managed to score with Pokemon Go, so it must be doing something.
I could see that happening. So, how many, like in your area, do you feel like there's adequate amount of Pokestops, that are within a reasonable distance?
Within a reasonable walking range, yes. There's actually one park that's actually very close to me that's actually got 4 Pokestops within about a location of about, 100 meters. So I hit one, walk to the next one, hit that, walk to the next one, hit that, walk to the next one, the one after that, hit that. And by the time I get back to the first one I started, it's up to I go again.
It's
so
already back up.
I just do laps of this park. And the funny thing is that after a little while, a couple other people join me doing laps of the park. And we're just here with this. We're just doing laps of the park.
Yeah. There's a couple like super concentrated spots that we found, just in Cincinnati, but those are like definitely put the kids in a car and drive for like 20 minutes away kind of a place.
Yeah.
In my neighborhood, there is one Pokestop that is, and it's like 2 miles from my house. It's like 2 miles of back streets and stuff. I live in the suburbs, so it's lots and endless rows of houses. But the hilarious part is, even in my terrible, I don't call it a terrible neighborhood, but even in my neighborhood, where it's mostly kids and people just walking their dogs, now I'm seeing a lot more people just out walking. And
I've seen
someone's always got a device on them.
Yeah, I've seen a few people just walking down the street with their phone in their hand. And it's like even down like busy main roads, and they just got their device in their hand and walking. As I'm driving past, it's like I walk past. Yep, that's a Pokemon player.
Yeah. So Saffron in chat says, Cincy, I was just in Florence last night at D&B at David & Buster's. No Pokemon. Wah, wah. So, fun fact, my wife still is, the manager of one of Cincinnati's biggest theaters. At her theater, thank God, there is no Pokemon or Pokestops, because this is kind of where we cross into that, like, almost inappropriate places for Pokestops. Could you imagine people sitting in a movie theater, just sitting there, checking for Pokemon? Like, it's bad enough people texting, And now we're starting to get, there's endless reports in the U.S. where like cemeteries are begging people not to come in to look for Pokemon and stuff, and it's all because at some point somebody tagged like a fun sculpture or something. You know what I mean? In Ingress, and now it's a Pokestop.
Yeah, and the Pokestops in the Holocaust Museum as well. That's
yeah. Yeah, I do remember hearing about the Holocaust Museum.
Admittedly, there's a I think there's actually even a gym on one of our Anzac Day memorials in my local area as well.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how appropriate that is, but to be quite honest, it is getting like the locations of interest. They're basically putting it in front of people's faces. And if those sorts of things, say the war memorials and such things like that, they get like people's attention. Well, hopefully we don't forget about the things that we've gone through as a human race. And
that is true.
Yeah. So hopefully they don't black ban it completely and just but try and moderate it somehow.
Mm-hmm. I mean, really, the only way that I don't see anything in the system that somebody could potentially say, hey, blacklist my business, right? Or blacklist my property, right? So, I mean, it almost comes to the fact that, like, some of these, the good news is, like, at least in America, some of these businesses are just like black holes on the cell phone reception. You know what I mean? Like, you go inside their business and you just like have no and you're like, you have to switch to Wi-Fi if they have it.
Yeah.
But yeah, Draculetta is saying he's just dreading the horror that this is going to cause at Gen Con this year. 260,000 people stopping in the middle of sidewalks and hallways in the vendor hall to catch a freaking Pokemonster. I never even thought about that. I mean, I have seen people tweeting about people setting up lures at like concerts, like outdoor concerts, to sort of get people to come. And that that store that I take my kids to, it's a really fun grocery store, but in the end, it really is just a grocery store. But it's the only grocery store that's not part of a chain in our area, and it is huge, and they import just weird stuff. But I've actually heard that they not only do they encourage people to play Pokemon in their parking lot, but they also they pay their staff to constantly set up lures with their own money on their own accounts. That way, people flock to their company. It's like if you go to their parking lot, you're guaranteed you're going to have just like tons of hits. And because they're paying their employees to play the game. I love that.
Apparently, Santa
It's
Monica
breaking
Pier,
walls.
Pier in California has gotten more business than they've ever had, according to a lot of people that actually go there. It's like
Yeah.
it's become like a hotspot for people to go. I mean, honestly, like food and drink vendors, they must be doing the business would have had to have picked up a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. I I could not believe how busy that one shopping mall or that grocery store was. Like on a Wednesday night, they usually have a good amount of business, but then you show up and it's like it's like people are waiting for a band to start. There's just people walking around everywhere. Everybody's socializing. There's like dogs walking around.
Oh, that's the
and
other thing
and
too.
and people were actually being really courteous. They would people would go into the store, they'd buy drinks, and then I actually did see people like picking up trash that was blowing along the sidewalk. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So it was people were being crazy courteous, and that was where I was just like, okay, we need to talk about this because this is like culture changing. You know?
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, admittedly, when I go out for my little bit of walks, it's usually early in the morning, and there's not a hell of a lot of people around. But even the few people that I do run into, um, it's a common thing that we're both doing at the time, and it's a thread that you can actually latch onto and actually start a conversation with a random stranger, which, admittedly, as gamers and nerds and geeks, we're not very good at.
That is very true. I have definitely seen a very wide variety of people walking around. I don't want to call them like mutants, like the people that just don't ever get out of the house. But I mean, even me, like I got two little kids, so I literally just started by letting my kids play on my phone, and I just used it to rack up my Fitbit miles.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's fantastic because as long as I give them a fully charged phone and I trust them not to smash my iPhone, I'm getting my steps in and they're having a blast. And
Oh,
now
yeah.
apparently mommy's hooked. Like
Ooh.
my wife, who hates video games and rolls her eyes that I have a video game podcast, is out at her work playing on break.
Well, there you go. You can say, "GG, you're a gamer now." There's no going back.
Exactly. This kind of feels like when Nintendo came out with the Wii and they
Oh,
captured the
yeah.
hearts and minds. This is that at level of excitement where, they had just grandparents playing the Wii. Do you remember that?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, SEO edit or SEO EDT in chat saying fully charged phone is necessary. So
That and a spare
hilarious fun fact. I've seen so many people comment about how Amazon Prime missed their opportunity to sell phone batteries. Like they could have made a killing on phone batteries. Think about that.
I reckon all the phone shops would be making a killing right now. Anybody that's got a phone battery is probably sold out by now.
Yeah, he also said that he does think that businesses should be allowed to request that their locations be blacklisted, as Niantic has announced that they will be allowing people to request Pokestop installation. So it does look like they're sort of heading in the right direction.
Well, considering there's in like rural areas, there's quite a few black spots so I've heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I, as an IT guy, when I go to all these IT conventions, we always get swag, and I have gotten 4 phone batteries, like little portable charger things, and I threw them in my bag, and I always forget that I have them, and then this game came out, and that's the first time I've ever used it. And you know what? I'm happy I got it.
Yeah.
And it was free. So...
Actually, here's a little news clip that might be interesting, topical for you guys in the States. Hillary Clinton is looking to try and figure out how to use Pokemon Go to get people to go to the polls.
I did see a joke tweet. Someone, I don't know who said it, but I saw a joke tweet that somebody said Pokemon needs to put rare. They said they need to put rare monsters at polling stations on election day or something, like an excuse to get everybody out to vote.
Absolutely, that would do it.
So, of course, Hillary Clinton would probably be doing that.
And
what team do you think Hillary and Trump are on?
Considering I don't know much about them, I would say
I'm going to say Mystic.
I'd say Hillary would probably be Instinct. More than likely. Actually, the way that Trump tends to act, I'm sorry to say, but he probably would be on Valor. Just character that what we know or little of here in Australia anyway.
So another pickup line. Those are some nice hoot hoots you got there. I don't even. You put the wiggle in wiggly tough. Okay, this list just keeps going. We can't dwell on this list. Many inappropriate ones that I'm really looking through this. So I have never played any Pokemon for this game, and I think it was because now take this back. I love JRPGs. Mm-hmm. I was born when Nintendo came out, or I wasn't born when Nintendo came out, but like I grew up with Nintendo. Like I hit like age 9 the year that Nintendo came out, and then I got one at like age 10, and it was just a love affair after that, right? Mm-hmm. I loved playing Dragon Warrior and Dragon Quest, whatever you want to call them these days. Same game. I played that entire series end to end, right? I enjoyed the Final Fantasies until they went off the deep end. But like I never got into Pokemon because it always seemed like when I was growing up, it seemed like it was being advertised almost as like a kid's game on the Game Boy, right? Mm-hmm. And then when it started getting more popular, I looked at it more as a sort of like a monster fighter. Like it was all about collecting things, and I'm like, back then I didn't really care for it.
No, that's fair.
And now the only reason I'm playing it now is just because my kids are just loving it. And I'm like, okay, I could get into walking around and collecting things, but I personally don't have anything where I have a drive to like go destroy some, gym nearby my house or something. By the way, I did drive around and I found out that almost all of the gyms in my area are Team Valor. So I'm like, okay, that's the team we're joining, just in case I did want to,
Yeah. I made that decision as well based on the gyms I had seen at that time. But now one of my local gyms is become a Team Instinct fortress with about, 10 to 13 odd people just barricading themselves inside this thing with like ridiculous high level Pokemon. Admittedly, because I work and because at the moment my kids are on school holiday, so I have to go and do the dad taxi thing and do other things. And with the server crashing more often than not, I've only managed to get to a grand old level 7 at the moment, so I'm a little behind everybody on everything.
Thanks to that concentrated store that we go to, I've went from level 3 to level 9 in 2 days.
Wow.
It's wonderful. Yeah, it's unbelievable there. I would totally take you here, man. They probably have koala meat. That's how weird this store is.
Possible. Actually, kangaroo meat was more likely.
They sell ostrich eggs. I know that. You're just walking through your store like, what the hell is that? It's like, this is the weird store, man. Anyways, anybody online, look up Google Jungle Gyms. That's the name of the place. It's a weird store, and they like anything that used to be some weird little animatronic, they just buy it and put it in their store. You know, like you're walking through the store and suddenly there's like a dancing Elvis bear. Like, hey, that's this place. And they actually purchased an entire monorail from a theme park near us, the old Kings Island.
Mm-hmm.
There was a monorail. It's a huge monorail train, and they installed a track that went completely around their parking lot, which, you know, honestly is probably like 2 miles of track, right? And they were going to let people ride the monorail for free because they bought this monorail, and then the city that they're in said, whoa, you know, and all the other businesses complained, you know, like, this isn't zoned, you know, this is a shopping, you know, it's a grocery store. It's not zoned to be like a light rail, right? So apparently they went through this whole fight and they lost their lawsuits and everything. So now they just have this monorail that doesn't do anything. So they were like, you know what, we're just going to leave it up. So they just left it up. But there's a monorail station at the back end of their property that's always empty. You know, it was meant to be a train station, and now it's empty because they can't use it. And I'm gonna put a picture on Twitter if I can find it here. They are organizing a Pokemon battle on next Wednesday, and it's going to be. People are it's already set as a gym. And,
really? Okay.
There you go. I just put the picture on Twitter, which is the hashtag Pokemon Go. If you look at my account at DJPimpDaddy, anybody listening live, they're having a battle. This is they have these signs outside of every single door, and you can see the little flyers like, "Here, take a flyer." When you're inside the store, they give you the Wi-Fi passwords so you can play inside the store. Like this store is crazy, but they're literally they're organizing a battle for their monorail station.
Why not? I mean, imagine. Okay, yes. Then they're actually getting people to their store. They're getting the store getting exposure. They're doing it right.
Exactly. You go into their store and they've already set up temporary like stuff near the front with the cash registers to like with, you know, drinks and snacks. You know what I mean? Like they're catering to the people that they're drawing in
for a cost, of course.
I mean, even my wife and I, when we both went the first night, we were just laughing at it was like a carnival atmosphere of people walking around. But then we were like, well, hey, we're here, you know, and like she pulled out her shopping list before we left. We grabbed a cart and got like 9 items, you know?
All right, let's go to another news item. Let me see, where have we got here? Apparently, thankfully, UK now have got their own servers. The servers down here might actually stabilise for once. Apparently, the churches cash in on the Pokemon craze in the UK. So they must be out in force while people are coming along to the churches and just stocking up. They must be getting their people out, their ministers and whatever have you, and start doing their sermons on the lawn.
I have seen several churches putting things on social media, like to basically talk to people when they come onto their property. You know,
like, you're welcome. Hey. You're welcome to come to the Pokemon thing, but
exactly, yeah, we're gonna talk to you about.
However,
I haven't visited this much church since I was a kid.
I've known of a few churches around the place, but there's a few ones that I've missed. So, admittedly, I've only been going around my local piece of suburbia, which is not really what you call dense. I've yet to actually go into the main city of Adelaide. So, that would be
when you go in there. That's where you bring. That's where it gets real.
So that's going to be an experience. Actually, in fact, this weekend getting close to the city centre, going to a home improvement expo that we're actually doing a bit of a home improvement to our house and going into that. So we're getting close to this. I'm going to be taking my phone and trying to serendipitously hide it from the wife as I'm walking around the expo hall.
People know. Okay, so here's the fun. Like, I really haven't played it that much myself interactively, right? Mm-hmm. I've sat there and watched my kids play it and fight over my phone. Mm. So, I have really taken I've taken the lead as making sure my kids aren't getting hit by cars in the parking lot, right?
Oh, yeah,
that's been my thing, right?
Actually,
I'm like protective dad, but as a result, I'm watching people, I'm crowd watching, and you would not believe the ridiculous amount of people just like running into things. And I see dangerous people like circling parking lots, just like crawling along, and they're not even watching. And I'm like, oh my God, like that's kind of made me panic a little bit. I'm gonna guarantee that people are like Pokemoning while driving, right?
Yeah,
that has to be happening. I haven't seen any, car crashes as a result of it yet, but it's happening.
There was one thing I did notice on, I think it was the Pokemon Go's website. There is a device which is kind of like a watch, which basically runs to your phone via a Bluetooth signal. So you don't actually have to have your phone out to know that Pokemon are around, B, catch Pokemon that you've already seen. And there was another feature to there too, but I can't remember where it is. A on my phone or B on the website. But if anybody can find that, it'll be great. But yes, there is like third-party hardware that you can get now.
Yeah, so I was trying to think that I don't have any like Apple Watch. Does anybody in chat have any like peripheral devices? Like, does it play nicely with your standard stuff? My wife actually does have an Apple Watch, but she cracked the face of it and sent it to Apple last month to get it fixed, and they lost it. And she has to go in. I have to drive her out to the Apple store sometime next week, and they said they're just going to give her a new one. But I'm like, what a perfect timing! Like they lost her Apple Watch, and I'm like, there has to be some weird Apple Watch interaction, because at least like if the phone vibrates, the watch vibrates. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, this is very, very similar. I'll see if I can do a Google search for it. Pokemon Go Watch. Yeah, just Google Pokemon Go Watch, and it'll be the first thing that comes up.
Go. Oh Jesus! Yeah, that's like a suggestive search. Oh, the first news article: why Pokemon Go isn't coming to the Apple Watch.
Well, there you go. They've got their own.
Wow, that really is a Pokemon Go watch.
It is.
This is an old article.
Is it? No, well, there's a few, like 1 day ago. There's a few that's 10 hours ago.
I was gonna say the preview, the one I'm looking at from The Verge from 2015.
Oh,
I guess
yeah,
when the game was announced.
Wow. Okay, well there you go. So they still had plans for it. So I don't know where they're retailing this, if it is in stores as we speak.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk for a few minutes about augmented reality, right?
Mm.
Besides walking around with GPS coordinates, the first thing I did the very first thing I did the first night was I took my phone away from my kids and I shut off that horrible music.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god, that music just grinds into you. It's horrible.
Actually,
Now this is coming from a guy who's played a lot of Dragon Warrior. That's some
Mhm.
bad music.
Speaking of the music, the app doesn't play very nicely with any other any other app that works with your phone that actually has like audio output. So I was trying to walk around at work tonight with SoundCloud, as I do, and when I listen to my gaming podcast, as I do, and have Pokemon Go up at the same time. They don't play very nice together. So that could be something that's fixed.
My kids have played in the car while I'm driving back. I let them just play with it, but I'm playing music through my iPhone, and on the iPhone, it doesn't, like, some apps will actually like dampen the music, just so like you hear the ding or something. But Pokemon Go plays it at the same volume as the music, which can be good and bad, because if I'm playing quiet music, Pokemon Go is just way too overpowering. You're just driving along and you're like, oh my god. Yeah, so what were we talking about? The augmented reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
The second thing that I turned off was that stupid augmented reality thing where you gotta like swivel around the phone. That crashed my phone. Not crashed the phone, but it crashed the app consistently. Like somehow that piece of the code just didn't do it for me. And I was happy that you could actually just shut that off and just go back to like a fake screen.
Actually, with augmented reality, take Pokemon Go and Google Glass.
Yeah.
That just hit
another
me.
failed product.
Yeah, put those two together and you've got a winner.
Hey, Ray.
Mm-hmm.
If you were a Pokemon, you'd be a Squirtle because you make me wet. Did we go too far? I finally made you laugh. Okay.
Oh.
That was a bad pickup line. Okay.
That'll be what she said.
You put the cool in Tentacool. No.
Is that Neckens in your pocket, or are you just glad to see me?
Ah.
And I just make up with that all on my own.
I did. My wife and I were playing after the kids went to bed. We were just sitting on the couch, and I'm filtering through all the stuff that the kids caught, trying to figure out how the game even works.
Mm-hmm.
And I just turned to my wife, and I'm like, "Can I put my Pokeballs on your Jigglypuffs?" And she just like gave me. I just got the look. I got the look.
It's like, you just did not just say that to me.
I got a look. It has definitely been making the news with. It seemed like the first few days, news stations caught on really quickly that it was hugely popular.
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking for outlandish stories, and they would just latch onto it, and then that's immediately what the older people would say. That's what it is, right?
Yep.
We were the Wednesday night. We're walking around the neighborhood, and I just the kids are in front of me. My wife's wrangling the dog behind me, and we're just tromping along through the neighborhood. And there's this guy on the other side of the neighborhood just like washing his pickup truck. And he's looking at my kids walking down the street, just laughing at, staring into the iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
And, he looks at me, and then he looks at the kids, and then he looks back at me. You could just tell he was confused. I'm like, oh, they're playing Pokemon. And he's like, have you found any dead bodies yet? It's like a little snide comment, but I'm like, okay, you're obviously old.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you've decided which side of the fence you're on.
Well, I think there's I suppose our generation it's almost like a 50-50 split. Those that actually did jump on the technology as it was developing, and the other ones that just buried their head in the sand. That's our generation, pretty much in a nutshell. The generation
Yeah.
before that, yeah, like our parents, they're probably scratching their heads by now.
Yeah, my parents aren't. Well, they're my parents are like they're retired and like they go to book clubs like 3 days a week. You know, they have a phone and it dials numbers. That's how they
Yeah,
use their cell
yeah.
phones. The fact that it's an iPhone is the only choice they had. You know.
Now, my parents, they've taken to the technology a little bit better. My father likes to take pictures of his wood carvings that he likes to do. So, and that's after he sells them at arts and crafts fairs because he's just retired himself. So that's his thing.
Nice.
Another news story: Virgin Mobile has free charging stations for Pokemon Go players.
Nice.
Yeah. So Virgin Mobile has announced that all of its retail stores and kiosks have recharging stations.
See,
So,
they know. They know. This goes back to people, embracing change.
so any shopping mall that that's got a Virgin Mobile like thing, and they will probably try and sell you a phone while you're at it. Why the hell not? You've got a captive audience. It's like, I need charge of my phone, but I can't get away.
At the jungle gyms, they do have they have outdoor posts that have plugs in them. Like all the light posts, the light post in the parking lot literally all have plugs in them.
Oh my
And
god!
I noticed that because there's now people like camping next to light posts.
Oh wow!
There's a spot near the front door where if you stand, you're within range of 3 Pokestops.
This is where you start taking
just
photos.
Stand there. You could stand there and not move.
Be the Pokemon reporter.
I thought about taking a picture tonight, but it was kind of like on and off raining, and of course, to take a picture, I'd have to take the phone back, obviously, which causes cryings.
Oh.
So SEO EDT in chat says that the Beyond Pod and Smart Audio book apps have been doing a good job of keeping my Pokemon Go muted. Thankfully, as long as I play them after starting the Pokemon app. That's an interesting thing. I have seen a lot of people walking around solo with headphones on.
Yeah.
I guess that I guess you could seriously just go out and do your own thing and just walk around.
Well, yeah. Then I generally tend to listen to like SoundCloud podcasts and actually audiobooks. Is it audiobook? Audible. No, we're not sponsored by Audible. I have no affiliation with that whatsoever monetarily. I just like their product. Some of the old books that I have cherished on my bookshelf, I've now converted over to Audible reading. So it serves me in my older ages when I don't really particularly feel like reading, but I've got to be somewhere. So it fills that void.
If I was a Pokemon right now, I'd be an Erectabuzz. That joke's.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did I do I want to see your Squirtle squirt?
Yes, you did.
If I said that one? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm looping back. Okay. Back to the Pokemon. I'm going to minimize
News story.
that. Out of sight, out of mind. News story. Go.
T-Mobile gives customers free Pokemon Go data. Which T-Mobile...
How do they do that?
I don't know.
How do they segregate just that data? I guess technically, I guess they could just sort of see the data that's going to the Pokemon servers.
So T-Mobile, I don't even know what
that's a smart idea. Okay, I can actually on an iPhone I can pull up to see how much data that app used. Right? Let me pull this up right now.
Mine actually doesn't. Mine use that a lot. Actually, either.
over 5 days of use, mostly, walking around the neighborhood, obviously, so no Wi-Fi, 57.9 megabytes.
Whoop-de-doo.
That's not bad. That's like one good video on YouTube I watch,
Actually,
without Wi-Fi.
Yeah. That'll be like a good half hour of a YouTube video, if not,
This podcast will be 57 megabytes.
at least. Where are we at? I think
Covered the augmented reality.
Yeah.
We've covered I haven't heard of any deaths yet. It's coming.
Well, there was a
I've heard lots of accidents.
Apparently there's a stabbing.
Been stabbing. Did hear about the stabbing.
Although, it is getting like generation and a half worth of people out and moving.
I did suggest the first night that Pokemon Go needs to overlay their map with a sexual predator map. Just saying.
Yeah.
That's my suggestion.
Let me see.
Let's see here. This is what happens when we have no show notes. We just make the show up as we go. This has been a fun ride.
Okay, hang on. There is a news article. Pokemon Go partnership with McDonald's is on, source says.
Of course. So now they're going to have all those toys and the Happy Meals.
Yeah, and having all their restaurants as Pokestops. You bet you it's going to happen. If it hasn't already happened.
My kids they're old enough to enjoy the thrill of walking around playing a video game that sort of exists in real life. But they're young enough to where they have no allegiance at all to anything. They just now figured out, my older son can read rudimentarily. He's going into the second grade, so he has a very basic reading level. And as a result, he's starting to learn how to read things and do search. He finally figured out how to do searches on Hulu and Netflix. Like he could crudely spell things in Netflix and find things, right?
Oh, speaking about
and
Netflix,
they found Pokemon on Hulu, and every day for the past 3 days, I've come down in the morning and they're fucking watching, freaking Pokemon, the cartoon on Hulu.
Well, why not? Speaking of Netflix, apparently Pokemon Go is actually outstripping Netflix in download views. And a lot of other things as well. It might be just creeping up there on porn.
The good news is that compared to Netflix, Pokemon Go is only streaming like little pieces of data, whereas Netflix is like comprised of like 5% of the total internet power, right?
Yeah.
So, conservatively saying, a lot of that's porn.
Yeah.
But that's hilarious. So SEO EDT in chat says, doesn't a Pokemon Go and McDonald's partnership negate the positive effects of an increased walking?
Well, if to get the most out of it, you'd have to really walk to the Pokemon the Pokestop in the first place.
Exactly.
So it's a bit of a win-lose situation.
I'm happy to say that almost every restaurant sort of in my area, of course we got the long strip of street that's just endless restaurant chains all the way down the street, right? I don't think any of them are Pokestops, right? The Pokestops are just like, in my area, it's the churches, and then there's like a couple businesses that have like a weird statue out front. So
yeah,
yay! Hopefully we can keep. Could you imagine if they add every McDonald's as a Pokestop?
Oh,
that'd be just people just be sitting there camping out, drinking free pop all night.
Yeah.
There went all the health benefits.
Well,
At least at Jungle Gyms, you got to walk around the park.
Well, yeah, true. And also the park that the hotspot park that I would go to is yeah, you just walk around and round and round for circles. It's good.
It's a park. It makes sense.
Mm.
I have actually. There's been a few times where like we've gone to a store or something locally, and I'll tell the clerk, and it's usually like some older business owner. I'll be like, "There's no Pokemon outside your shop." They'll be like, "Maybe I need to get some." I'm like, "Well, drum up business."
Actually,
Good luck with that.
I can say one thing that Pokemon Go has actually almost retrained me in the way that I think about going places. I mean, it's getting me out walking for longer distances and thinking, hell, that corner stop that I used to get in my car and drive down to. Sure, the drive would take me, 5 minutes, but it's like 15 minutes walking, so yeah.
Yeah. That is very true. I follow a game developer on Twitter called Will O'Neill. He lives in Toronto, Canada, and he was the guy who designed. It'll come to me. It was like a depressing game where the guy, spoiler, he kills himself in the end. I cannot remember the name of it for the life of me. It'll come to me like in 20 seconds. Anyways, Actual Sunlight, that's what it was. He was the designer, the solo designer of Actual Sunlight. He's more of like a writer, but he embraced RPG Maker and he just went with it, right?
Yep.
I actually tried to get him as a guest on our RPG Maker episode that we did, and he politely declined because at the time that was like episode number 2. I'll forgive him for that.
That's fair.
Anyways, he has on Fitbit. He has like a group, and I'm part of it with like 6 or 8 more people. And for the past week, we have all thrown down the gauntlet, like challenging each other on Fitbit. We've all consistently been hitting our goals every day, and it's all because of this stupid freaking game. But he actually has pointed out that, like in Toronto, if you're a cyclist, you actually have an advantage in the game because apparently the speed at which you move to find things, if you're at a car speed, you're too fast, right? But if you're at a cyclist, you could just pull over at any point. And I think that's where the bicyclists have the actual advantage in this, especially if you're in a very dense area,
Actually, in my area, there's an old railway line that was basically pulled up, about 20, 30 years ago, and they basically paid over it and made it a bikeway. So
they have done that here too.
Yeah,
it's a wonderful thing.
It's
like 50-mile long path.
I'll be thinking about pulling my old bike out and dusting it off and trying to get back onto it.
Well, thanks to that tip from SEO EDT, you can get on ingress.com and look at the map and see where all the things are on that. Oh, there you go.
I think there's even without the map, there's an exploration aspect of it all. You're going out into your own neighborhood and basically exploring new areas like you've never explored them before.
Mm-hmm. I actually, the first 2 nights we played, I actually did seem like I was spending more time looking in my neighborhood than just walking through it,
Yeah,
Usually I would just walk and walk and walk, and I had a destination in mind, but I would just sort of focus on,
blinkers
and
on.
now I'm just like casually just like looking around, And I've actually, we have honestly, met other people that are doing the same thing as us, but they're usually going the other way for some reason. Of course.
But it's definitely opening eyes, for sure. How much have you know about the egg mechanic?
So today we hatched our very first egg.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody that starts gets a an infinite use incubator, and then if you stop at Pokestops, you can actually randomly find other incubators, but the ones you find usually only have like 2 or 3 uses.
Yep.
So you put your Pokemon in, and hilariously, as a snide against the U.S., everything's in kilometers. Um, that was probably by design too. I got whatever, because the uneducated would be like, "What's a kilometer?" um, the so you have to have the app open while you're walking, and if you go over a certain speed, and I'm guessing it's like 5 or 6 miles an hour, 7 kilometers an hour. I don't know what the math is.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but
it stops working. It stops counting, right? So if there's eggs that have they have like a shelf life of 2 kilometers. Some of them have 5 kilometers, and some of them have 10 kilometers. The one we hatched today was the first egg I got, which was a 10 kilometer.
Oh.
And it ended up being it was like a level, a combat point 60. It was like an odd one that had like a bunch of leaves. I can't remember. It was like an oddish or something.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Wow.
Yeah, this is whatever. Just make any name up. That's what it was.
No, that is a Pokemon, an oddish.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Mm-hmm.
So, was it worth it to tromp 10 kilometers with my phone running an app? Like, I actually have caught 2 of those at that grocery store, but I could see how that piece of the app is actually causing people to move and not just camp at spawners. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I've got about 8 eggs myself, and I can't.
My eggs are full.
I can't hatch them all. The first one that I managed to get to hatch actually just got this night gone. It was a level 110 Vulpix.
Wow.
So for me, most of my stuff that I've been catching is been around that level, around the 100 CP level. So that was actually not bad, and it was a Pokemon that I had not caught before. So that was actually pretty good too.
God, I'm trying to think. Pull my app up here. I was trying to figure what my top Pokemon was at this point. There is a metric ton of those stupid little birds everywhere in Cincinnati. Pidgeys!
They're everywhere.
Just OP Super Pidgey Pokemon. Yeah, I got a Pidgeot at 455.
Oh, actually, that's quite a coincidence, because my highest is a Pidgeot at 450, which I trained up to 450.
Yeah,
Which I could actually put another level in now.
There is a grocery store nearby my house that has a bunch of Tauros in it.
Oh, interesting. Apparently, I just tried to go for a power up, and it said my trainer level is too low.
Yeah, yeah. There apparently is. Oh, hang on, just open the apps and by my house. I have to catch. Don't mind me. I'm podcasting while catching.
Eye on the prize, man.
Yeah, I missed. Damn it. Okay. Here's a topic: microtransactions. Have you purchased anything yet?
No, I have.
Oh, you got out.
I see absolutely no reason to buy anything, to be quite frank. I mean, you do get a reasonable amount of items from your Pokestops. Just looking at the things, the only thing you could probably look at is, I don't know, maybe a bag upgrade, but still you can get all these items within the game by going to your gyms and battling and getting coins from defending. So if you're active enough, you really don't need to spend anything.
Well, here's my question though: do you think that dooms the game? Do you think? I mean, obviously,
No.
if everybody has no incentive to purchase anything from a free game, do you think it dooms it? Because I do realize with any app, with any cell phone app, it's almost 100% profitized off the whales, the people who spend thousands of dollars because they have it, right? Not the guy who buys something every now and then. But I almost feel like somehow in my brain, I'm seeing that they're almost not charging enough, or they're not making that paywall. You know, like
basically,
I hate to say it like that because I hate when you hit the paywall. But just my business guy is thinking that I haven't hit that paywall yet.
I don't think there is a paywall for the sheer fact that we're playing the game the way it's meant to be played. Sure, actually, the things that you can buy with Pokeballs will assist you. Even like some of the cheaper stuff, you probably will get. Seriously, I don't know how much coins you're going to get for. Oh, I can collect a. Oi! I just collected my first defense thing. Actually, I've got one of my Pokemon in a gym. Say trainer has one Pokemon assigned. Yay! I've collected 500 Stardust and 10 coins, and that was just from today. And I can collect that again in 21 hours by the looks of things.
Okay.
So, of course, if you like more Pokemon,
you just
towers.
earned money by playing a game. You earned basically in-game currency.
Yes, I just earned in-game. It was only 10 coins for one Pokemon in one gym.
So this sort of crosses over to like our sister show, Lotro Players News, right? Mm-hmm. In Lord of the Rings Online, you could earn Turbo points by playing the game, right? That's kind of the sweet spot. It's possible, and there are people within our network channel who are playing the game 100% free. You know, if you can grind, if you can grind it out, you can play Lord of the Rings Online for free.
SEO EDT just to mention, according to a report by Quartz, based on data from Sensor Tower, US Pogo players are using the iOS are already spending about 1.6 million each day on in-app purchases. And Statistica reports that worldwide revenue for Pokemon Go in-app purchases is expected to hit 58.2 billion this year and reach 76.5 billion in 2017.
I haven't spent a cent.
That's because people want it now. And and also the way that they've actually got the Pokecoins price structures. Mm-hmm. Namely for say the bag, if you want say the bag upgrade and the Pokemon storage upgrade, pretty reasonable things. For the price of 8, I'm assuming this is US. I'm not entirely sure whether it's actually localized, but
in the US it's almost $1 per 100 coins.
Okay, it's $1.49 for me, so for 100, so it must be localized currency. So for $8 you can get 505 Pokecoins, which will buy you that bag upgrade and the Pokemon storage upgrade. Your basic tools.
Yeah, that's like a $10 in US. So yeah, that is
Who
localized.
hasn't got $10 to drop?
Yeah. Okay. So what few iPhone games I play extensively, I have no problem throwing $10 towards, especially if it was a free game. And a lot of times the games will take away advertisements if you just throw them $5, right? Mm-hmm. And this game has 0 advertisements. 0.
That is so
How
true.
are they making $1.6 million a day? Those must be the hardcore players, the people that are just camping out, you know? Hey, it's the old man.
Yeah, the old man's decided to come in and grace his presence.
My cat knows better when I get the microphone out. I have thrown that cat a few times. It's young, so it bounces.
Now, unfortunately, when they get to the ripe old age of 19, you got to be a little bit careful with them.
Yeah, my cat's like 1. So, okay. That is ridiculous. SEOEDT, thanks for sharing that. I would not have guessed it's making that much, but damn.
Even if it's not like making half the amount of money that Fox is reporting on. Yeah, pardon the old man. He's
That's fine.
continually going on. But
New cats are always welcome on the
oh, very good, because he'll always make an appearance. But for looking through the store, and even considering like at Pokestops where you're getting out and doing all the socializing, all that sort of thing, you can get all of these items. Honestly, I haven't seen a Lure module yet, but you can get the other items by going to these Pokestops. So it's a random chance, yes, but you can get them there, or then you can actually buy them with the in-game currency, which you can earn by participating in the game. Actually, speaking of the game, there is a couple things I would love to see. Oh, hang on! Whoa! I almost bought $15 worth of Poke Coins. That was close.
No!
I was one like touch away from actually spending money. The planned features for Pokemon Go. Now, I would love to see. Of course, you DJ don't have the background knowledge of how Pokemon is actually played, but the other aspect of the exploration was when you encounter wild Pokemon, you could battle your own Pokemon against them and train them up. That was the other linchpin of the Pokemon game. The RPG aspect of Pokemon was that. So
But now they expect you to go to either a rival or a friendly training gym. And basically, even in the friendly ones, apparently you're supposed to sort of
you're not even
spar against your own people, right?
Well, that's true, but you're not even really leveling your. Yeah, but you're pumping like this Stardust stuff and candies into your Pokemon to level up. That's not really a core mechanic of what Pokemon was. So,
that's right, because you're only leveling up your gym, not your Pokemon. Okay, that makes sense.
So hopefully that sort of mechanic does get brought in. I'm not sure if they will or whether that sort of thing. But also the other thing was battling your friends. You get together and you can like have a Pokemon battle with friends. As with the Pokemon Color, they actually had a specified cable which you could actually connect your two Game Boys together, and you would battle via wire.
Do you think it would ruin or help the mystery if you could see other Pokemon players on the map?
I would say it would ruin it, and also it would be a security risk.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Traditionally, Nintendo is crazy about stuff like this too. They're overly protective against security stuff like that.
Yeah.
To the point where like it's why even try to send an in-game message on your Wii? Just like just don't. Just call the person,
Yeah, it probably would have been easier. But yeah, I hope that it's like some of these other like features do get brought in. I actually more of a case, fix the server stability. Do that first.
Okay, I was gonna say that the fact that I haven't spent a cent of money, I'm okay with the downtime. But yeah, if they're making 1.6 million a day, buy some more servers. God.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how much if Niantic or whatever, however you pronounce
I
it.
would have
I
loved
wonder
to
if they
be.
had to purchase that IP. You know what I mean? Or did Pokemon, the Pokemon company, which is owned by Nintendo ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they actually approached the Ingress people and said, "Hey, let's pitch an idea at you."
Yeah.
I don't know how this came about, but there's got to be a fascinating news article someday.
Oh, man, I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall for the server technician that flipped the switch and just all the lights just go out and he's going, "Oh my God, we don't have enough."
We need more power. Yeah. As an IT guy, I could sympathize with, that guy that's in the trenches and hell breaks loose.
It's like we're throwing all the servers we can at it, and it's still getting out of control.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, and hey, guess what? UK comes online in 2 days.
Well, at least they will stop
So,
thieving fucking servers. Well, pardon my French, from us convicts. Buggers.
yeah. So, I have seen reports of virus, like infected apps from people who want to play it that are sort of, using it in a jailbroken sense. That has surfaced, of course. That was sort of to be expected.
And yeah, that's actually been patched out quite quickly, actually, considering.
Yeah.
From Google's end, anyway.
Yeah. Good time. I don't think we could say anything else about Pokemon. You think I mean,
I think
we're still new enough to the game. Like, I'm still week 1, so.
Oh, same.
The advanced mechanics, I just don't understand. I realize that everything has a weakness and a strength, and I get that, but like
from all reports, that isn't actually as implemented as a lot of Pokemon players would like.
I was going to say, the hardcore people are probably walking around neighborhoods carrying spreadsheets, right? But to the average person like me, I'm just like, I just don't get it.
I think the strengths and weaknesses of individual Pokemons has been dumbed down quite a bit. The whole it's like attacking gym mechanic. From what I hear, the gyms are meant to like turn over. The attackers do have an advantage over the defenders. So
unless you're standing there and could just keep throwing stuff at it, right?
Well, there's that.
And defending it.
Or you have like a good number of people that like put one Pokemon into it. If I just look at the gym that Team Instinct have basically holed up in my area, they have seven people in that gym. Their lowest Pokemon is 645.
Oh, wow.
Their highest one is like 1,073.
I haven't seen a gym yet over 800. Am I?
And there is actually like level 20 players there. I don't even know what the level cap is.
Yeah.
I could probably assume that it's level 20.
Yeah. That would make sense. The hardcore just is like it's like in any MMO, it's like a land rush the second the game opens. And then the high end players do everything they can to min-max to stay on top of that pile, you know what I mean?
Yep.
And those are the people carrying around spreadsheets.
They probably got roadmaps with this.
So how far out do you want to predict before that this game sort of hits that critical mass of the gyms are all dominated by the min-max, hardcore players, and it's just sort of no fun to the average player? Or do you think it'll stay going?
No, I think it will still continue because of the fact that the people who made Ingress know the fact that they want the towers to turn over. They want the you can. They basically will get to the stage where a lot of people will probably is say they'll get to like whatever cap there is for say like Pokemon levels or and player levels. They've basically rigged it in a way that defenders will always lose towers, regardless of how many people they got stacked there. Yes, it might take time, but the tower will be lost, and it will change over. It will just basically continually drive the faction war, as it were.
Yeah. It does definitely make an us versus them sort of mentality in the whole game, which doesn't help in U.S. politics. Pretty. I could see the collection aspect of this game alone getting my kids interested for probably a couple months. But once the selections sort of thin out and there's nothing but like 20 or 30 crazy rare ones, I could see the endless grind of birds and rats just sort of get monotonous enough to where it's not even worth playing. Does that make sense?
Here's the thing. The Pokemon that we're playing with now, they're the first season of Pokemon that ever came out back 15 years ago. There are other Pokemon that they're able to tap into from probably 5 or 6 editions of Pokemon that they can put into this and string it out. And if they get to the point where they have the ability to train your Pokemon by it, well, basically playing against the environment, PvE type mechanics, it could quite considerably go on for just about ever.
Yay.
As long as people, they've got some guy at the back there with kooky ideas and what making up like different kinds of Pokemon, which these. I mean, it's like the imagination's the limit.
I have never run into anyone else in real life playing Ingress. Like, I don't know anybody of any of my friends playing Ingress, right? I knew people on the internet that played it, but they just didn't play it that much. And now it's just like you're running into just endless waves of people, mostly millennials, and down, but just endless waves of people playing.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to swell, but I think my prediction is probably a couple months before it sort of dies down enough. I don't see myself keeping up the pace of going out every freaking night with the kids.
Maybe not.
I don't see myself doing it.
Maybe not every single night, but you will still go out.
I could honestly see maybe once a week taking the kids to the park to goof around, but I've been caught up in the movement, like the Jungle Jim's place. We've been there 3 nights in a row, and it is absolutely nuts.
Yeah. How long would the society basically keep this thing going? We don't know. This is actually a social revolution in a lot of aspects. People are getting out or being basically pushed out of the house, and they're interacting face to face with people. They're getting off the couches, out front of the TV, and they're going out into the wide blue yonder.
Yeah, I saw somewhere I had a hilarious picture of like Nintendo's attempts to get people to exercise. Mm-hmm. I can't, and it was like, hey, try to meet people in your neighborhood and play this game with them. This, do this, blah blah blah. And then it was just like, hey, here's a Pokemon with a pedometer on it. Please go outside and walk. And then finally, it was at the very bottom. It was Pokemon Go, and it was like, just get the F outside. It was just like,
And admittedly, even with everything that, with the server outages and everything else like that, it's got me out of the door.
yeah.
So a guy in his 40s that is quite content to sit in front of his $2,000 PC and like PC Master Race and all that stuff with all the screens and and I had no real reason apart from going out and catching Pokemon to actually go outside, but I did it, and that itch is probably always going to be there now.
Okay, here's a funny tweet I saw. Nintendo's mobile strategy. 2008, what's an iPhone? 2010, what's an Android? 2012, nope. 2014, still no. 2016, change how society functions.
Unfortunately, my older daughter actually did try it for a while, and she didn't see the hook. Admittedly, she's not much of a hoarder or a collector or anything else like that, so she uninstalled.
Yeah, SEO EDT in chat definitely hit it. He said, "Still, these are all these memories we're forging with our kids this week over this. We're a generation of gamer dads and moms that will remember this week with our families long after this game's popularity has faded."
Oh, how and even just the mysticism of actually seeing all these geeks and nerds, even like younger, and you go out and you look at it, it's like this would have never happened 20 years ago.
I know. It's crazy. And it really has hit like a critical mass where everybody has a smartphone, you know?
Yep.
Everybody has a smartphone. Even my kids, they just borrow my phone, obviously. But, they have iPads. I could tether them, but, oh, my God. I don't even want to try to do that. And they don't keep the servers up long enough for me to even consider tethering an iPad and then let my kids walk around with iPads.
One point very, very soon, no doubt. Oh, actually, once they throw probably about 20 or 30 times worth of servers at this growing epidemic.
It's all over once Russia and China get in this.
Oh, wow. My God. I reckon they tested it against the US, Australian, and New Zealand to start off with. Yeah. And now they're taking on Europe. They're bracing themselves for when they take on China.
Yeah. That's going to get ugly.
It's going to go off the page. It's like, okay.
I'm wondering how big Ingress is in South Korea.
Actually, apparently, there was something I did see in one of the news things that I was looking at. Apparently, South Korea is a hot spot for Ingress. So
exactly.
You can imagine.
So when South Korea comes online, it's all over. Like, that's the day the servers just die.
It's like all the world's power cannot go towards powering the servers. We have a wide world brownout.
Oh, it's all over when South Korea joins. That's the death day.
This is it. The Holocaust is going to be all caused by Pokemon Go.
That's it.
Fallout, here we come.
Yeah. Yeah, I think SEO EDT definitely hits it. It's this, at least even in my family, this is changing the way that we've actually spent our time. And like, I don't think I'm ever going to forget this stupidity. This is what virtual reality almost should be, where it's like it's smashed into actual reality.
Well, do you get those old Google glasses?
Yeah.
Find some way to patch it in, because if you can actually get that to like, oh my goodness, I can see it now.
My workplace, we're an IT company, and we actually do have a dev Oculus 2.
Mm-hmm.
And they've told everybody, like, hey, if anybody ever wants to just take it home for the night, or if you can literally sign it out and just take it home. And I have not brought the Oculus 2 home because I'm just like, while my kids would probably laugh at it, and goof with it, like, I just can't bite into VR yet because it's such, like, you are truly limiting yourself to a single person. It's going to be a long way off before we have multiplayer virtual reality, right?
Well, that's true. And unfortunately, to say that Pokemon Go has just put augmented reality right smack in the face of just about everybody.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
they threw the gauntlet down.
for the folks that did have to make Google Glass, you can probably see people like with their glasses or whatever, getting this stuff streamed into their eyeballs, and they'll be actually seeing the Pokemon in, not just through a phone's camera, they'll be seeing it into their glasses.
Oh God. Yeah.
And instead of a flick,
this app could have been the catalyst to save that whole project.
Oh yeah.
How sad is that?
I actually, I hope some bright sparks thought of it, but yeah, I'm sure somebody would have.
We should patent this idea somehow.
Patent Google Glass and Pokemon Go integration.
Yeah, patent Poke Glass.
Poke Glass.
We'll call it Poke. Everybody in live chat, or if you're listening after the fact, do hashtag Poke Glass. Let's start a campaign. Hashtag Poke Glass. Okay. Yeah. I think we've hit the end of this.
Yeah, we've been going for...
We've caught them all.
Well, for the half-an-hour show, we've well exceeded that again.
Of course.
And it only took two of us.
So the standard stuff, we do have a Patreon. The Players Alliance Network has a Patreon. So if you'd like to support the show, go to the donation page on XPQuest.com, and you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. And they do have rewards where you get a shout out on your podcast of your choice, or you can even be a guest host. Yay!
Yeah.
Or honestly, if you're really interesting and you have something to talk about, just hit me up. Anybody can be a guest host. Now, if you want to be a regular host like Raetac here, you got to bring it. He brought it. Oh, it's on. It was brought.
I've been itching to do regular podcasts for a long time, and here's my chance.
Welcome to the show. You can always contact us over at podcast@xpquest.com. And you can follow us on Twitter. It's Players Alliance is @PlayersAllies. So you can check out all the other shows on our network. You can do XPQuest @XPQuest, and of course myself @DJPimpDaddy and @Raetac Rages. So why are you raging?
Well, actually, there's a funny little story with that. I had to have a catchy little catch name for my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Raetac Rages.
Raetac Rages.
Yeah, and I thought, it'll be a bit of an oxymoron because I'm not really that much of a rager.
That makes sense.
But it gives me...
Like, I think I've only seen you, like, rage quit one thing, or like you even admitted to rage quitting on one thing, like one single thing on your entire YouTube channel.
Yeah, it's been going for like 4 years. It's like no, there has been a few other times I've actually really lost it, but yeah, I generally do keep myself pretty in check. So it is a bit of an oxymoron. So yeah. But it's the YouTube channel that you make. You give yourself a name, and unfortunately, it's stuck, and that's the way it is.
That's the way it is.
And of course,
so if you're
interested in my his
videos, Raetac Rages, just search for it on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Predominantly playing Minecraft at the moment.
I'll admit to watching everything you've published except for your SimCity. Like, I gave up at episode 5 on the SimCity.
That's fair enough.
I just couldn't watch it. Not that it was bad. It's just yeah.
That's okay.
That was the one I didn't watch.
That's cool. It's been taken out of the back and shot. It's going to be replaced with Subnautica coming up to this weekend. I'm doing some recording of that. So next week, new show of Subnautica. Anyway.
So the other Players Alliance live shows, Mondays at 8:30 Eastern. You have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9-ish p.m. I say the word ish with air quotes. We have XPQuest. And you know what? We might be doing more of these. It might not be an every other Thursday. We'll just throw that out there. The last Friday of every month, we have Lotro Academy. That is a hilarious show. You got to listen into that sometime. They go off the rails, but it's a good off the rails. And then, of course, the flagship show, the Lotro Players News, every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. And, of course, you can join us at our live shows at xpquest.com/live. And I am still talking for the next episode to the Avalon guys. We've made contact. We have made contact. That's step one. They're talking with their people. Our people are talking with their people. It's a people thing at this point.
And I'm struggling to try and play the game.
You're really struggling to play the game.
Okay, I'll have questions on like a new player input type of thing.
Yeah. I'll throw this out there. I think in the last year, their software apparently has, like, whatever the upgrades are to all of the internet, web browsers, have sort of broken their software. Does that make sense? Like the security holes that Chrome and Firefox have patched broke their software. Well, so you have to use some weird launcher now to really play it.
Even then, I think as computers have sped up over the decades, my reading speed is actually slowed down.
Exactly.
So
it's a lot of reading. A lot of reading.
I can't keep up. And
you gotta hyper read. We can cover this.
That's my main hurdle, but yeah. I mean, hell, as a bit of history, I did NetHack back in the day, and that was good. I could deal with that.
The only game we played like this was a text version of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Oh, fantastic text-based game back in the day.
Or there was Zork.
Zork, yeah. I see. I never got. That was I somehow missed that. Missed the whole Zork, but we'll cover it. Yeah. SCOEDT in chat's like NetHack. Oh yes. So come back for the Avalon show, possibly within the next 2 weeks. So, Pokemon.
Gotta catch them all.
Gotta catch them all. Okay. Thanks, guys, for listening.
And thank you all, definitely.
Peace out. Hey, everyone wash your Pokeballs before you dip them into the Jigglypuffs. Something.